I'll get some beers and get chuggy. Nah, man, I know what I need, some more Man Huggie. Oh, Man Huggie. Some more Man Huggie. Put your headphones on for proper audio quality, motherfucker.
What's up, Angry Black Quarterback, episode 40, week 0. 2.0's got him himself muted, but 2.0's here. We also have Elwood, who looks like a complete ass right now. Also, mostly going to talk playoff matchups, also coaching. We saw Pete Carroll get let go today, but then he's moving to the front office as a football advisor. So we'll talk about that. So he's not really leaving.
And he even made a comment, which is even weird on that. Did you see the comment made by him that he coached his ass off to keep the job?
Oh, I mean,
okay, if you were trying to keep your job, but then they're keeping you in staff, like,
yeah,
Pete,
no,
just let it go, Pete.
He gets to
You're old.
Well, no, Pete gets to go run around and hopefully be like a more likable. What is his name? Lou Holtz. You remember fucking crazy ass old man Lou Holtz from Notre Dame? He'd be like, with this crazy lisp, and he would always say weird shit. Or was that? No, that's not Lee Corso. Lee Corso's still all there. But yeah, let go, but keeping his job. That's pretty weird. I mean,
same day Nick Saban retires.
Yeah, Nick Saban retires. We'll talk about the championship game, and then we got playoff games soon. Maybe potentially the coldest or one of the coldest football games ever played.
Yeah, what did they say? -9?
-5, -9. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Like, Jesus, fuck that.
That's gonna suck.
Thank God that might be their only home game.
That's gonna be shitty.
Yeah, honestly,
for both teams, it doesn't matter who it is. It's gonna be shitty.
I mean, good luck, Miami.
But that's a game that Kelsey has like 3 touchdowns in because everyone's all slow, and he just hits them with like the old man YMCA tight end moves and just bodies people and has like 3 touchdowns. I'm serious, and then it's like, then we'll see that in the future. And Travis Kelsey was out there in the frigid cold.
Is this
he
literally
caught
going to
3
be the oldest game ever registered?
touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes. That is literally our future. It's
not, though, because they don't even make tapes like that anymore.
Oh,
they don't make them like they used
no,
to.
they do. There's a whole market. I know there's got to be some like old guy in a basement who still like pumps that shit out just for his other dad friends. They don't make football
I remember watching
videos
like the Walter
like
Payton highlight videos of him running through his jersey.
Because you do think about it, that is a generational difference. Not to be off topic.
Oh yeah.
But if it was like, hey, Dad, look at this guy's football highlights from high school, and you were to send him like a YouTube clip, it'd be some Playboy Cardi song playing in the background, and it'd be all hype.
Or just moms yelling.
Yeah. Right though, I put up with a headdress on. It'd be like him like juking people the fuck out, and that'd be it. And your dad'd be like, "What the hell is this? What is this music? He goes to school. Yeah. Where?
Can't have that HBO classical music production behind it.
Dude, that stuff was the old NFL videos. It was just, classical.
Any video from that day. Baseball videos.
Classical music playing over, like, blatantly illegal and, like, borderline, like, get you tossed out of a game plays. I'm all for it. That sounds great. That's like 300. I think Zack Snyder watched those original football highlight films and those classics and was like, you know what, I should make a movie about gladiators and like just OD on slow-mo. I think that's might be loosely how that happened. That makes more sense
about
than
Spartans, not gladiators, bro.
Hey, when you watch those videos,
yeah, man.
When you watch those videos,
Spartans were warriors, not.
They might as well be warriors.
Entertainment slaves. All right.
I mean, I guess after a bit they became.
Well, that's what gladiators were.
Xerxes entertainment slaves. I know. I was just using a term. Chill out. Calm down.
Calm down, dude.
Calm down, dude. But we'll have a lot to talk about.
I'm doing it for the audience so they don't get triggered.
How are they going to get triggered? If that triggers
because
you,
all the out of all the gladiator fanatios, people fucking.
If me characterizing Spartans for gladiators triggers somebody to the point to where they're that upset, like they got there's
Oh, of
way
course.
more questions than answers, way bigger problems than me and my what I say on my podcast, for sure. Like that person. I'm issue number 12. And they've worked their way through, and they're like, "Oh yeah," like it's when you go grocery shopping, and you remember you forgot something right before you walk to self checkout. That's the being annoyed at me for them. They've already gone. They've already done a couple laps. But we'll get into a bunch of shit today. Yeah, I mean, what do you? Let's start with the football championship game. Not, I mean,
I turned it off pretty early
not really what I
just
wanted.
because I knew who was gonna win
I wanted
out of
Washington to
the.
win.
Washington
I didn't.
missed so many opportunities, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they connect on some of those deep downfield passes early in the game, I feel like it's a completely different football game.
Oh, when they were down and that fourth down play, he just like drops it.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that? Aduz.
There was one in the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean and then if you saw the interception he threw to start the second half, his offensive lineman took a step, it stepped on his ankle, and that's why he threw that pick. So he didn't even get hit by the Michigan guy. He got like his ankle crunched by his offensive lineman. I mean, obviously Michigan had the better talent, but Washington even making it there was awesome. I think the whole country we're fine, cool. Harbaugh won. His dad's won a FCS. He's won an FBS. His brothers won a Super Bowl. Awesome.
Yeah, you think
Great for them.
Jim goes to the NFL now
I don't know
after
if there's.
conquering college?
I don't really think now with Saban out, why would you leave? If you're in and you got a cush fucking spot,
I don't know. Weren't
Unless
you the
you're
one
moving-
last week
unless you're
saying
moving,
no way Saban leaves?
I don't.
retired?
I didn't see. I don't know why he would. He's got it cush. I was just saying.
He's just
I don't
ready
know
to
why.
live that. I heard something today about maybe potentially the what is it NLI or whatever.
Yeah, it's the
NIL.
NIL, the expansion of the playoff. The football's going away from what he's used to, what he played in, what he actually played football in college too. So I mean, because he was
Right.
what his alma mater was Alabama, if I remember correctly. Wasn't he an Alabama kid? Where did he go to school?
Nah, he's Michigan.
Was no, not Harbaugh, Saban.
Oh, Saban, yeah.
Yeah, so Saban retiring, like I was just like I don't know why, but yeah, the expansion of NIL deals, people getting paid, all of that, 100%. That 100% has something to do with him getting the fuck out. I don't know why it wouldn't. And now they're 12 teams. He's not going to be happy about that. It's very apparent that he's not. You know, what are you going to do?
And I think he's gonna have a good. I think he'll be on the college game day crew.
Oh, he'll get a
He seemed
job
to
somewhere.
fit pretty good on the.
Yeah, he'll get a job somewhere. But I think he's seeing the mix-up and just how it's changing. And then he watched Michigan win, who he's probably furious about because, you know, they have all the allegations of cheating and all that other stuff that they've had going on. So, you know, there's a lot of moving and shaking going on in college football, and he's probably not down with it. The motherfucker old school to shit. So he doesn't want to, it don't jive. So he's out. I'm just surprised because he's got one of the cushest jobs, like, ever. So like, it's not like it's really that difficult for him. But Harbaugh, I mean, if
when
you
you're
have
one
a
of the
job,
highest
why would you leave?
paid. Yeah.
Well, if you're a Lane
like I said,
Kiffin,
it's more of he still doesn't have a Super Bowl.
unless they're gonna move for that job, move to Alabama to take that job, a Dabo Sweeney, a Franklin, at Penn State. There's some coaches who will probably have the opportunity. Probably whoever gets it isn't going to be a better replacement. So that's also what everybody's got to remember. Is like, hey, they might lose like 3 games next year, and there's not like, it's probably going to happen at some point. It's not like it's going to.
So he could be annoyed with
following up
everything that happened today or this year with the getting suspended.
While he's been at Alabama, he's produced more first round picks. I think it's 49, and he only had, I think he had like something stupid like 29 losses, if that. Some wild shit where he's produced more first round picks than he's produced losses. That's one of those dumb stats where you're playing
Ended
NCAA.
on a good
And it's
note.
like I have more
You know?
touchdown passes than I have incompletions. I got 4 touchdown picks and 4 touchdown passes. I only throw 2-3 picks. That's always like a wow. If you can keep that going, you're like, oh fuck yeah, because that's just absurd, right? It's the same thing. That's what Saban's been able to do at Bama. It does create opportunities. I'm excited for the expansion of the playoff. All these old dusty ass tortoises can smoke a pole. I'm excited to see more teams, more schools get opportunities. To me it doesn't. And maybe I'm not like some old purist, but I don't really give a fuck about NIL deals. These kids getting paid, them hitting the transfer portal, whatever. If it fucks with the schools and it makes the boosters mad, and it makes the people who backhand fund on some like weird super PAC shit, like it's some weird political party for your school. Matthew McConaughey fucking slipping people Mercury Cougars under the table for free, like whatever. Let him do it in public. Let him, he wants the credit. Let Matthew McConaughey get all the credit for being a part of why recruits go to that school and giving them, Mercury Cougars and HJs behind a Thundercloud sub. Everybody knows that happens, allegedly.
I mean, wouldn't you want him to be your college professor too? I mean, come on,
not
coolest
really.
teacher ever.
No, that could be really annoying. Depends on the class and what I'm actually trying to learn. That might be annoying. And obviously, it's probably some film class, acting class.
It is.
Yeah, so there you go. But if I was sitting there and I'm taking like journalism class and Matthew McConaughey's teaching it, I'd lose my fucking mind. Just like if you were taking English class and it was Owen Wilson was your teacher, that would drive you fucking insane. Wow. John Proctor just didn't even see it coming, man. Bro. He just didn't even see it coming, man. Wow. That would be like the most annoying shit ever. Like, please, let me just read The Crucible by myself.
Gross. The Crucible. That's the book he chose?
Yeah, because he'd make that even more boring and annoying than it already is. And I said John Proctor.
Oh, yeah. Some of the worst.
Yeah, and the movie's any better. Like, oh, we're going to watch the movie of it. You're like, fuck this. Fahrenheit 451, you read the book, and you're like, this is pretty tight. And then they're like, oh, we're going to watch the movie. And even though it's some, like, wonked out, trippy 70s movie, it's still really good. And you're like, what? There's a movie about that? They remade it. They remade it, and it was stupid. What are you watching, Stars Game?
Yeah.
Nice! But yeah, I mean, do you think, like, what, so is it open season next year in NCAA? Everybody's licking their chops?
It'll be interesting. We'll see.
I think Georgia comes in and replaces Bama.
As that team?
Yeah, because Georgia's already kind of been doing it, and now without Bama there, like, who's going to stop Georgia?
Texas, baby.
Yeah, but I think that it's cyclical. It's the same thing that happens with, like, Alabama or all of these schools. Everybody's like, I want to go to Bama, or I want to go to Florida State, or I want to go to fucking wherever the fuck. They always pick a school that's the top school. For a while it was Texas.
I will say Austin as a city is a very interesting city for college kids. Plus, that school's got so much money to spend.
The ability to hoard talent does not exist in NCAA football anymore. That's the catch.
No.
That's the catch. Yeah. Is the ability to have a monopoly on talent. That's what would happen. Everybody, I got to go to Miami. All the great running backs you had like 5 great running backs in a row go to Miami. Then you haven't had shit come out of Miami. Why? Because every good running back in the country was at Miami, and they want to go somewhere else. They're like, oh, well, if I go there, I'm going to have to sit for a year. And some of those kids go, like with Bama and Saban. So he would sit there and he'd be like, all right, well, I got Ingram. But you know what? This like 13-year-old kid, Derrick Henry's going to be a monster for me. And TJ Yeldon's going to be a beast. It's not like he didn't have like back to back to back to back, like top running back classes, like showing up. And he has those guys sitting and they're not allowed to transfer. They're not allowed to go anywhere. They're not allowed to do shit, but they can sit there and wait their turn. The ability, like being able to do that doesn't exist. So yes, Georgia could take over. They've benefited from the exact same system. People just got tired of everybody always going to Alabama. Because if I go to Bama, I'm not going to get to play. I'm not going to get to play quarterback. Well, how am I going to play quarterback? Jalen Hurts just left. He went to go somewhere else. Now they've got Tua Tagovailoa. Now they've got fucking someone who's been sitting for 3 years, and now Mac Jones is running out there. And then they got like they always have somebody, like right? It just seems like because they're always stockpiling that talent. That talent can leave now. They'll just pick up and bounce. Like Florida State's a contender next year. Defense good, good running game, and now they just got what is it? They've had like was it DJ Unga Ungalavaloa
Ugalaleleia.
Ungavalelea from
Oh,
Oregon State, but he was at Clemson. He's gonna go be their quarterback. This is his third team in 3 years. But fuck yeah, let him do whatever he wants. Like, I think that while yes, teams like Georgia who have some of this stockpiled and have got it waiting in the wings, but that's gonna kind of wear the fuck down. I feel like that happens cyclically in college, whether it's Oklahoma or Texas or Alabama or Auburn. You can't go to Alabama, so I'm going to go to Auburn because I still want to play him and I want to be in this game. I want to play all the Iron Bowl and fucking War Eagle bullshit. Next thing you know, I'm playing, but now we have a bunch of talent, and while Auburn's competing, then at some point they fall to the wayside. I think it's like but that's gonna stop because people can go wherever they want, and we can pay you whatever we want. We can get fucking O.J. Simpson to.
oh,
You could. You could get O.J. Simpson if he owned a vitamin shop in town where he's slashing prices every day. You could he could sponsor a kid. Be like, here's $100,000. Be in this commercial with O.J. Simpson. I'd do it. For $100,000, I'd do a commercial with O.J. I'd need to know the preface of like what it is and what I'm
I'll
selling.
be honest. I know it's off subject, but out of all the crazy shit O.J. Simpson has pulled in his later years, I'm surprised that motherfucker hasn't tried to start a glove company
Have
and
you?
like sold his own brand of gloves.
Did you see his
'Cause
prank?
it would not surprise me.
Did you ever see his show Juiced? His prank
Oh, I
show?
think.
Dude,
Oh
that is the
God, I think I heard.
creepiest. He goes out in whiteface. He has a rap music video. It's the weirdest. You gotta look it up. It's called Juiced.
Uh,
There's like 2 episodes, 3 episodes. They canceled it. It's fucking insane. And he goes around. At one point, he goes to a car dealership and he tries to sell a Bronco. Like, hey man, and it's like O.J. Simpson, like cracking jokes about murdering people, trying to sell this guy a Bronco. And it's like
oh my
it's incredible.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? O.J. Simpson is like just such a ridiculous person and character and timeline and ending, and he still gets all of his NFL pension. He still gets 100% of his NFL pension. He's Hall of Fame. He gets a shit ton of money. It's crazy. The NFL still legally has to pay him. He has health
Yeah.
insurance and everything. So and that's money that he gets to keep. That he doesn't pay anybody. He's lost civil suits too. Like they can't touch it. It's all separate. That's like his fucking money. They're not allowed to touch.
I mean, good luck to any human being having a crazier life story than O.J. Simpson. Like in the sense
Do
of
they
like
do
literally like
and not like the trials, but do they do like? Could they in the future do a biopic, i.e. a Ray or something like Jamie Foxx?
of O.J.
Could we
Simpson?
of O.J. Simpson? Could there be an O.J.
It's
Simpson biopic that doesn't just focus
no,
on the
no,
trial? Everything's about the
no. It
trial.
couldn't be a movie. It'd have to be a miniseries.
Well, it would be a
Too much to
mini.
cover.
It'd be like The Crown, but it'd be The Juice.
Do you see the Mike Tyson one on Hulu that came out? It was actually pretty good. Where it's like the actor played Mike Tyson doing Mike Tyson stand up, and then while he's doing the stand up, it like goes like parts of his stand up where he's just talking about his life, and then it'll go into flashbacks. It was really good. The guy that played Mike Tyson was really good.
I just wonder, could there be like a
Oh, it would be entertaining as hell. Like I said, you go from one of the greatest football players of your generation to then becoming a huge spokesperson for a national known company to then becoming a comedian actor to filming in multiple Naked Gun movies and others to then going into the most arguably famous televised media coverage court case in our times history, to then being, acquitted or not guilty of the crime that everyone knew he did, to then pretty much admitting it later on in life, and then going back to, or actually going to prison for fucking kidnapping people and trying to get. I mean, it is just, if you think
No,
about it and you go through it all,
we've
it's
talked about
fucking
that.
wild.
He got fucked on that. Not to be talking about OJ too much, but on that,
Yeah.
that was like them sticking it to him. I mean, a bunch of people stole tons of his memorabilia and personal items. He had some people tracked down where some of that shit was. They went to confront that person. When that guy showed on, when that guy showed up, he had a bunch of other dudes with him. Some of these dudes had guns. OJ had no idea they had guns. They admitted that OJ didn't have any guns, but they took deals to everybody that was involved who had a gun, lied about it. All these other dudes were just like, they're like, if you testify against OJ, we'll basically let you walk. And they were like, okay. And then so they all testified against OJ and let him walk. And now he's like chilling. He's on Twitter. It's a mind fuck. And you forgot the police chase. The police chase leading to the court case.
Yeah.
The police chase. I mean, now you have a whole. The Bronco died for a while. They just revived it, and I still think it. I'm just like, hey, OJ. Like you still see a Bronco, a white Bronco. Most of them are like tan. No one's buying white Broncos anymore. I should buy one. That'd be funny.
You're ready to get pulled over a lot.
And O.J. Simpson, first running back to run for 2,000 yards, 1 point leading rusher. Also, O.J. Simpson, still top 10 in rushing all time. And
speaking of getting pulled over, I got a ticket today.
And O.J. Simpson completely changed the game. He was basically the first black athlete and first real athlete to go out and do endorsements and get paid for endorsements with like Hertz Rent-A-Car, car dealerships. Like O.J. Simpson made that jump from, okay, I'm just a sports athlete, to I also do all these promotions and do these commercials and do these videos, and he completely transformed the game when it came to that, like sports athletes being spokespeople. O.J. Simpson's responsible for that as well. It's pretty wild to think about. And what, won a Heisman?
Moving on.
Anyways, coach is being fired. Falcons fired their coach. The Bears are keeping theirs. Pete Carroll in an advisory role. Who else do you think is on? I mean, also Rivera lost his job. We said that they've been waiting for the year to end, and they even openly admitted, like, yeah, we're probably going to get fired after this season, which I think he's kind of fine with. It led. You think about what he's been able to accomplish. They got rid of a lot of bad contracts, a lot of bad shit. They got the owner changed. The name was changed. Like, there's so much shit that Ron Rivera was there and just kind of took all the bullets for. It's pretty wild. I mean, any thoughts on this? Do you think the Falcons is an appealing job? I think it is.
Falcons they're a good quarterback away from being a serious Super Bowl contender. The rest of the NFC South is garbage.
Yeah.
So if they can get a good Super Bowl, you got an easy path to the playoffs through the division. And then from there, it's just, what can you do?
They almost made it. That division's so bad, they almost made it to the playoffs. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's an appealing. They spent tons of top picks on offensive weapons, running back, tight end, wide receiver.
You think Sirianni keeps his job?
I could see
if y'all lose to Tampa.
I could see Sirianni keeping his job. I could see I think obviously our defensive coordinator is probably going to lose his, and our offensive coordinator, I think they're going to rethink how they're doing stuff. And I think we're going to have a more involved. Now, could he? Yeah, he could. If we get smoked, I mean, I don't have any faith in them. I think it'll be a good game in the sense that it's not going to be like a barn burner by either team. I said last week, we'll get into it, but yeah, I think it's possible that he could, but I think that I think at least the defensive coordinator loses his job, and there's a couple other position coaches who probably lose their jobs. I think anyone's job is kind of up for grabs with losing 5 of the last 6 or whatever the fuck. I don't think that really bodes well for anybody in any job on any team. When you finish like that, they're in the playoffs. It's probably better off that it's on the road and not at Tampa. The fact that this team has to play on the road might benefit them, honestly, in the long run, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I think it's possible. No, the question is, does someone like Eric Bieniemy in his offensive mind, does he go to a place like Atlanta? Black top head coach candidate, black brother going back to hot Atlanta, Magic City. Go out there, go check it out. With all those offensive weapons, he could probably draw up some pretty awesome offenses. It's going to be interesting to see who these candidates are.
Dan Quinn returns.
But, I mean, Dan Quinn, you would see Dan Quinn.
Nah. There's talk about him potentially going to Seattle.
I could see that. With those defensive weapons that they have, that's definitely possible. But, you'd have to have a strong offensive mind in the room and somebody making offensive decisions for you. It couldn't just be Dan Quinn, running the whole thing. Because we saw, that's kind of what they had in Atlanta. He had a above average quarterback who won an MVP that year, in Matt Ryan. A lot of offensive weapons and talent. So he could just, focus on the defense. And the defense is what collapsed in that. So, I mean, he's definitely up there in candidates. I mean, it just depends to see. You'd hate to see someone like Atlanta go defense with their head coach. That'd be stupid. But anything's fucking possible. This first game's Browns Texans, man. We're getting into these playoff games. We can go over those. Week ended. Eagles lost. Cowboys won. Who'd y'all play at quarterback this last? Well, no, I mean, I said we shouldn't have even played anybody. I was like, why? It doesn't matter.
We played Dak.
Well, yeah, y'all are playing for seeding.
Our starters played the whole time.
Y'all are still playing for seeding. I'm saying we're running around out there. I wouldn't have played anybody on the Eagles. It doesn't matter if we win or not. The chances of y'all losing that game and us taking the second seed are so slim. I'd rather rest everybody and just sit everyone than have people go out there and almost blow their leg up in AJ Brown or dislocate your finger throwing balls like Jalen. That was just stupid. And then after that, it's like, oh, pull them out. It's like, yeah, what are you talking about? I would have made them run 2 series and just sat their asses. What are you talking about?
Right.
Give them a break. That's not like you're doing anyone any favors. That's really, really dumb. You're playing, people can potentially get hurt. Cowboys still playing for seeding. Still playing for seeding.
Was it the Baltimore game that was raining?
And the Cowboys, and like I said, the Cowboys sat a couple people in that game. They sat 2 offensive linemen. They had a couple guys on their team that sat because they're like, no, get the rest. Just like I said, some people are going to be scratches. I wouldn't have played anyone if I was the Eagles. Doesn't make any sense. Lions, of course. Lions are going to go out there, do everything they can to try to win that game. But for us, it's like, all right, we're going to be playing on the road. We're playing Tampa, it looks like. Sit them. And they knew who they were playing before the game started. So you could have healthy scratched some people coming out the tunnel. I would. That's
true.
I would have. But this game, Browns, Texans. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be a repeat because didn't they just play right before Christmas?
So they played a couple weeks ago, but the Texans had some people injured. Will Anderson was hurt. Then their second best D lineman was hurt as well. No, there's a couple others as well. So it's not going to be the same game.
And it's in Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Cleveland's defense travels.
I mean, if anything, success for the Texans already.
Oh yeah,
host a playoff game.
I mean, that's arguably your offensive rookie of the year. You could make a case for C.J. Stroud, though he did miss some games. That does kind of detract from it, but you could make a case. But
Coach of the year
could definitely coach of the year. So, yeah, and then you have potential comeback player of the year candidate in Joey the Crowbar fucking Flacco. This Browns team has an opportunity. Their defense is extremely good, And what's wild is this is probably the most consistent quarterback play they've been having all year, and like spreading the ball around, getting other people involved, and not having tunnel vision. So you see this veteran presence in Joe Flacco really take over that offense. Mari Cooper's a good receiver. Njoku's a great tight end. You've seen him just go off as of late. You're like, dang, dude, how has come? A lot of people feel stupid for not signing the crowbar, but like Minnesota could have used Joe Flacco from the fucking looks of it. They might be a playoff team.
Yeah, and as good as the young guy kid is, I think I trust Flacco in the game more than Stroud.
Well, we talked about this before. Joe Flacco has one of the highest win percentages of all time in the playoffs. Highest touchdown to interception ratio in the history of the playoffs. This motherfucker is cold. You hate Flacco. You hate the Ravens 2.0. It's okay.
Oh yeah, 2012.
And you gotta admit, Joe Flacco is ice fucking cold in the playoffs. That's his shtick. That's his whole thing. He was the highest paid quarterback in the whole league, and people criticize
And he's
him.
playing with house money because it's like, what does he literally have to prove? Nothing.
And he's already won. He's already won
Exactly.
a Super Bowl. This is just like,
So he's like, dude, I'm having fun.
he went from being one of the few quarterbacks to go to and win a Super Bowl in the Roethlisberger, Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, Manning, that fucking era.
Both Mannings, technically.
Yeah, because everybody's won basically multiple. There's a short list of people who didn't win multiple, and it's like Drew Brees, Flacco, and the fact that Flacco came out of the AFC, so he had to beat these fuckers just to get there. Yeah, I mean, this defense travels, good corners, great D line, linebackers. They got great safety play. They'll just run around and smack people. I trust the Browns in this game more than I trust the Texans.
Yeah.
And what I've seen from the Texans are good. They're missing Tank Dell.
You got a bet for it, Joe?
I do.
What's the betting? What's the bet sign?
And we'll get to that. We'll get.
Do you have a bet for each game?
Close. Not every game, but
2
most
point
of the games.
bro, dude. 2 point bro. Yeah, I mean, Texans can pull it off, but I just think this Browns defense is really overwhelming. They're going to be able to disguise a lot, kind of create some havoc, especially with the pass rush.
Put some pressure on Stroud. Yeah,
he's just coming back from being out out of concussion protocol and being injured in the first place. Not saying that I think it's affecting him, but it's that could just be an extra factor. You know, here's some footsteps. Myles Garrett Garrett in the playoffs.
And I feel like Browns have more to play for in the sense of like, not necessarily like, it's awesome when the team has more to play for in the organization, but the quarterback can be comfortable and not, like we just talked about. But it's like the Texans have never been that good of a team. You know, they've always been on the cusp of average good. And Browns are kind of like the older sibling that say, "Oh, that's cute. I've been bad a lot longer." You know, it's just like I feel like the Browns are hungry, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, the record's not a joke. When they were winning going into the playoffs,
I know. That's why I'm so surprised they didn't that they are playing away first round. I wouldn't have thought that mid-season.
Wild card. I mean, they're a wild card team. That's not the division they play in. It's got the number 1 seed in it, so
true.
They made the playoffs. So that's an accomplishment in itself. Because you could make a case that Stefanski, who's their head coach, correct? Isn't it Stefanski?
Yeah.
That he could be coach of the year.
Yeah, I was gonna say both of the coaches.
He's on his 5th quarterback. Double-digit wins.
And out his starting running back too.
Yeah, from the beginning of the year.
Dude, if they had Nick Chubb,
Dude, that
would be scary.
Dude, if Baltimore had Dobbins full health,
scary.
I'll be honest.
No, but Chubb is better than Dobbins. Chubb is a monster.
Well, we never really know because Dobbins hasn't had a full season.
Yeah, but we've seen full seasons of Chubb, and it's historic. He's a monster. Scary, man. Yeah, so I guess we're both taking the Browns in this one. Dolphins, Chiefs. Saturday night football, 7 p.m.
Unfortunately.
It's going to be in Arrowhead, potentially -5, -10 degrees.
Bro,
It's gonna be one of the
all
coldest
them
games.
warm-blooded boys down in Miami about to fucking turn into sickles, dude. Right when they go out there, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
rough. That's gonna be cold.
the Dolphins are 0-10 in their last 0-10 in their last 10 games when the game time temp
Below
was less than
freezing.
40 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, that's like that Drew Brees stat where it was like if it was below freezing, Drew Brees had never won a game on the road away. He's never won an outdoor
Mhm.
game in a temperature below 32 degrees. It's like if it's below
Are you
freezing.
kidding me?
And that was a wild stat.
Sorry.
It was like a lot of
Stars
games.
just scored 7 goals.
And then he'd go and play so and so, like the Packers on the road in the playoffs and lose. And that's when Drew Brees would lose on the road outside. That was always his big hang up. Can't win in the cold. This is going to be shitty cold. I don't think the cold benefits either of them. At that point, it's so cold it's neutralizing. It cancels itself
Yeah, I'm
out.
interested to see the fans too. I want to see all the fan coverage on
And
that game.
The Dolphins have the more physical run game. I think they have the
When
better.
it's that cold, the run game makes a difference. The run game is going to give them the edge.
But their running backs are also banged up. They're not fully healthy.
But if Tyreek Hill,
They have 3.
they have 3, and you got to think,
Yeah.
in a game like that, depending on the condition of the field, dude, you can line Tyreek Hill up back there and hand him the ball off, and he'll
Just
run
do a
with the ball.
wildcat.
He's so fast that if he's able to gain any traction on that ground and makes anybody slip and fall, I mean, like you could literally line him up in shotgun, direct snap, have him run with it, and he'd probably get a couple yards every play. It's gonna be so cold. He's gonna be if everyone's slower.
So is it just the cold, or is there actually is there rain, like snow chance? Like
I don't know about snow chance. That'd make it even better.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Coldest game in history.
but I think it's probably the only game Kansas City wins in the playoffs.
And right now the stadium is blanketed in snow.
Oh wow.
But that's something they can clear up, so it'll be cold as fuck.
No, true, but it's already cold. Yeah.
They got to have a heated field, right? You got to have a heated field. If they don't have a heated field, that's stupid. It's like keep it melted. Or would that make it worse? Would that make it turn to ice?
Ooh.
That would be tight as fuck. So you're taking Chiefs in this one?
Yeah.
I'm going Dolphins just to mix it up. You guys are all both picking Chiefs. I think they have the better stock by talent. This is also the return of Tyreek Hill to Chiefs Stadium. So look for him to throw some peace signs. I think they're going to get creative with ways on giving him the ball, and they're going to make people run sideline to sideline. And if they're able to do that, the Dolphins are the better team for sure. Pitches, tosses, sweeps, stretches, a lot of like long, option run plays. I think that's the key. And do some Tua bullshit where he takes it one step back and just flicks it up in the air, and then Tyreek Hill just runs under it out of nowhere. I think that you see at least like one of those. Most def. Then we got Steelers, Bills.
I took the Steelers +10.
Yeah. That's
Reason
the only
mainly
game.
being the weather. It's supposed to be one of the windiest games in NFL history. So that's going to favor the Bills, or favor the Steelers. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. And Mike Tomlin has lots of playoff experience. Not making it an official play, but I took the Bills +10.
Who's their quarterback for this game? Mason Rudolph.
That's what I'm saying. Do you trust Rudolph more than Josh Allen? Truly?
I trust Mike Tomlin more.
That's fair, and they have they have a really powerful running game.
But I will say the history of Mike Tomlin isn't necessarily far pushes in the playoffs. It's just having a positive record at the end of the season and getting into a playoff.
Hey,
That's
that's
better.
17 seasons in a row. That's crazy.
Hey, I'm not dogging on. I'm just saying we're in the
Hating on
playoffs
the
now,
black
and his
man.
team is no. I'm hating more on his quarterback that I don't have faith in really.
Hating on the black
That
man.
I'm hating on a racist quarterback, so that's the opposite actually.
Yeah, that's
What's
true.
crazy though, is the Steelers have had it's like what 3 or 4 head coaches since the '70s.
Yeah.
While the Texans have had 3 head coaches in the last 3 years. And that is insane.
I think that he's bought his ticket in Houston for the next like 5 years.
Oh yeah.
He's built up some goodwill being there. Like he's got a job for a while down there now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Just random thoughts.
so you're taking Bills, Elwood, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I do. I'm taking Bills.
I just don't trust Pittsburgh enough.
Like I said, Pittsburgh did a good job getting out of the season the way they did. Like kudos to them. Got in, but I think
A lot of big play Bob shit where they're just like chucking the ball deep to Pickens.
because
It's like,
honestly, I think my AFC pick for conference championship is, if it can play out this way, is Baltimore Bills. Buffalo, Baltimore, the battle of the bees.
that'll be a good game. Think, Baltimore's the team to beat, especially adding Dalvin Cook. Watch Dalvin Cook go off.
But Buffalo's 2, right? For the second seed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then yeah. I think Buffalo makes it to the conference championship.
Okay. Do they win it or do they lose?
Oh, I think Ravens are going to the Super Bowl.
All right, next one Sunday, the first game. You got Packers at Cowboys.
No, that's not the first game.
On Sunday. Oh no, sorry.
They don't have a noon game?
Second game. No, sorry.
Yes,
Steelers Bills is the noon game.
Oh, okay.
Sunday's
There's
game,
only
which will be really good that everybody's indoors. Hopefully, 'cause it's supposed to freeze, so it's gonna be freezing cold down here. But we got
Is there only one Saturday game?
no. There's two. Browns at 3, and then the Chiefs at 7. Then
Oh,
on
okay,
Sunday,
Chiefs.
you
That's
got
right. That's right.
Steelers Bills. Now it's Packers Cowboys in Cowboy Stadium. It'll be potentially 10-15 degrees in DFW on that day. Icy, dangerous day. I'm not supposed to work, but we'll see how long that lasts. It's knock on wood. Every time it freezes, I get stuck having to do something work related. It's a trap. So they're like, oh, it's gonna freeze. I'm like, shit. Packers going into Cowboy Stadium. Cowboys have not beaten the Packers at home or on the road in a very long time. This is
but that was like an Aaron Rodgers record more than anything.
No, I'm saying it's just a stat.
Oh.
It's just a stat. He's been injured before and he still lost to him. Packers are coming into Cowboy Stadium. Packers went into
Hold on.
the playoffs.
We're talking about my game, and I gotta go. My kid's yelling for bloody murder.
Do you want
thoughts on this game? What are you thinking? Cowboys Packers. You going Cowboys?
yeah.
They should win. They should win this game.
Yeah, they should. They have more playoff experience. They have the better team, more talent. To me, it's kind of the least interesting game of the playoffs.
You think?
It's like,
Really? You think so?
I mean, I know there's a lot of history behind them. There's a lot of history between the two franchises, but say like Steelers, Bills, and Packers, Cowboys, it's
Man, Packer.
nothing I'm dying to watch.
Jordan Love's been hot. You got Aaron Jones back. He just ran for over 100 yards. It seems like they're finding their rhythm on offense. Last week they had 432 yards, 308 passing, 124 rushing. It was against the Bears, but still went out there and did their thing. I mean, Jordan Love's got some mobility that could create some problems. It could end up being a semi decent game.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
It's not like, their defense isn't great, but it's not that terrible. If they're able to run the ball, and, whenever Jordan Love's, throwing 35 attempts, 26 to 35 for 2 touchdowns, 316. So they're, trying to be efficient on offense. If they play within themselves and scheme well, I think they can kind of surprise the Cowboys defense, which does have issues with running the ball. And if Greg Jones is healthy, and you also have Dylan, if Dylan's able to come in and be that big bruiser with those thighs that are the size of kegs. The dude's huge, man. It's like so scary when he runs. I'm just like, good lord. Imagine trying to like leg tackle that guy. He'd knock you out. It's possible for them they're going to have to try to play the ball control game, because I don't see them really having the ability to take massive shots downfield on the Cowboys defense. So I think the focus will probably be run the ball and create
The only
actions.
way Green Bay stays in the game is a shootout, and I don't see them being able to sustain a shootout, because their defense is just not good. So we should
Well, that's what I'm
be
saying.
able to run down the field.
I'm just saying their game's going to be try to do ball control, keep the ball away from the offense, keep your defense on the field, and utilize their 2 running backs and be efficient throwing the ball. That's probably their best option, is what they're going to try to do. Because I don't think that matchup for matchup, I don't think they have the speed to necessarily be taking big, massive shots downfield. I don't think, Bland's not a barn burner, and neither is Gilmore. Those guys can be got. But I do think that I don't think that they have enough separation and creativity in their route trees to really create the separation that's needed. The guy that they had that did that is Watson, and he's out. I believe he's still out.
Injury prone.
So it's not necessarily going to be an easy day for their offense. Their defense can get after the quarterback, but their secondary isn't the greatest. So they're going to have to get in Dak's face and create opportunities for themselves and be opportunistic on defense. I mean, if Dak goes out there and throws 2 or 3 picks, sure, Packers got a chance. But the chances of Dak throwing 2 or 3 picks are pretty slim to none in this game, because I don't think that they don't necessarily have the personnel to create enough pre-snap, be creative enough pre-snap to really trick Dak into making a mistake that he shouldn't be making. I think that if he just studies his film and goes out there and executes like he's supposed to and makes the reads he's supposed to, I don't think they're going to see anything they haven't seen from the Packers all year. Now, you might see something from the Cowboys that you haven't seen all year to match up with a Jordan.
I'll be honest. If Dak doesn't perform well this playoffs, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's had a stellar year. It seems like he's locked in. I even loved, I don't know if you heard him after the game in the interview about Aaron and CD was wearing the division championship hat, and Aaron asked Dak where his hat was.
Corny.
Hey, corny. If it was fucking Jalen Hurts saying it, you would have been loving it.
That's
so I don't
corny.
want to hear.
No, that shit's corny too.
How is it corny when he just says, I want something bigger?
I could say it's corny. I reserve the right to say it's corny.
No,
because of course, Dak's gonna say that. Oh, we ain't done nothing yet. Oh, we got to get it done. We got to. Yeah, I bet so.
Well, he hasn't said that. He hasn't said that in the past. So.
Yes, he has. What are you talking about?
No, not like
yes.
This.
So you're going to say that up until now, Dak has never talked about going into the playoffs and trying to get it done. No, he hasn't had some corny line like, I'm not wearing the hat. Sorry, I didn't realize this was like this was fucking the NHL and no one's going to go touch the... He didn't say I'm not wearing the hat. No one's going to go touch the conference.
Stop degrading the statement.
Nobody's going to go touch the conference trophy because it's bad luck before you play for Lord Stanley's Cup. Because that's a thing. But, yeah, dude, whatever. He's made all sorts of promises. We've seen the Cowboys go into the playoffs and be higher than the number 2 seed. So it's not like we haven't seen them been the number 1 seed and lose in the playoffs too. So, whenever the first time they've been a 2 seed since 94, I was like, because they were a 1 seed in like 2000 or 2008 and in 2012 and in 2016. It's not like the Cowboys haven't been one of the best, if not the best team going into the playoffs and underperformed and lost. That's all.
But
I'm
not
saying.
with a quarterback playing at an MVP.
Yes, what
caliber
are you
year.
talking about? Yes, it's not like Dak has been
Tony
some.
Romo was never voted close to being an
When
MVP.
Tony Romo was healthy, Tony Romo was legit as fuck. He was one of the. He
I
was the
loved
highest
Romo, but he
paid.
was never in the MVP discussion ever. I don't remember anyone saying,
talking
"Man, I
about
think Tony Romo's going to win the MVP."
we're talking about two quarterbacks that haven't won shit, have never, and that were two back-to-back Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks who are transcendent in stats and all these things. And I'm not going to wear a hat, all that shit, and they still haven't won anything. I'm just saying, Jalen Hurts has won. Jalen Hurts has
We
won.
going.
Jalen Hurts has won more playoff games than Dak Prescott, and he's been to the playoffs once.
Oh God, here we go.
And
Well,
Dak
your team's
Prescott,
about to get stomped.
Dak Prescott, win or lose, is probably going to be the highest paid quarterback in the whole league next year. That's more of an attrition. No, it's true though, and that's more of an attrition.
He deserves it.
That's more of a. That's more.
Not a good thing for the Cowboys.
I know. That's a. Oh,
Go on.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But that shows an attrition at the quarterback position league wide. There's been such a drop on quarterback play, and there's been such a rise in inconsistent quarterback play across the league since we've watched all these other people kind of fall off to the wayside. When it's like the longest running quarterback in the league right now is like Russell Wilson. Doesn't look that great. David Carr doesn't look that great. Kirk Cousins throws a lot of picks. Kirk Cousins was leading the league in passing, and they were losing games, and he was still leading the league in passing. So I don't think. I mean, if Dak becomes the highest paid quarterback in the league while the salary cap goes up, I don't think that does them any favors. It's the same conundrum that the Cowboys have been in for.
How do we get into his contract next year?
Because I'm talking about in this playoff game,
playoffs.
whether he wins or loses, he will probably be the highest paid quarterback in the league. And if he loses, you can't convince me that he deserves to be it. And if he wins, I don't think you can convince me that he deserves to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts does either. I don't think that Justin Herbert does either. These overinflated quarterback contracts are wild, and they completely handicap these franchises moving forward. You guys still got to sign Micah. You still got. I mean, you're going to resign Bland. Diggs isn't re-signed yet. You're going to re-sign Parsons. You're going to re-sign CeeDee Lamb. There's a lot of people. No, I'm just being honest. Those are top flight talent in the league.
We'll worry about that after we go to the Super Bowl.
You better be quick, because the formula is to win whenever your quarterback is the lowest paid person in the room, and they're normally on some rookie deal, and you hit that lottery in that first 5 years, win a Super Bowl. You can spend that money on other pieces around the league because you have accumulated enough talent and picks and resources to add to it to cover for the fact that's literally how the Patriots won their first couple Super Bowls. It's how they had all those motherfuckers on those teams. They had Vrabel and Brewski and Ty Law and Lawyer Malloy and Rodney Harrison and Vince Wilfork, all those fuckers, because they weren't paying Tom Brady shit. And then they started making Tom Brady one of the highest paid people in the league. Granted, he did take a pay cut, but even whenever his salary went up, their performance dropped significantly. And right off the bat. So I'm just saying, and you can see it with the Eagles. Luckily, they've been smart with their picks. I mean, Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts doesn't pan out over the next 2 years, that's a bad signing on a deal. Carson Wentz, huge deal. People traded for his deal because they still thought they could get it done with Carson Wentz, and that was a bad deal for everybody but Carson Wentz. And it was because we made it to a Super Bowl on his rookie deal. Even though we made it and we won with the backup, we're still not paying him shit. Mission accomplished for why we drafted this guy. Now we have to pay him. That's normally the formula. And you have a lot of guys on the Cowboys that have been paid. And Dak,
well, that doesn't have anything to do with right now. He's not on a rookie contract.
I know. He's on a contract that y'all made him wait for forever to get paid on, and you had to overpay him for market value, and that strapped you, and that's why you lost Amari Cooper, and that's why you had to let other people go. Granted, some of it was addition by subtraction, but the last time you didn't pay his ass early, it bit you in the ass, and that's why they have to pay him now. And then he broke his ankle, so you didn't pay him, then he broke his fucking ankle, and now you gotta pay this guy. So now they have to pay him. If they don't, that's such a bad decision. But either way, coming out of this game, Cowboys definitely should win this game. I think they're favored by 7.5 points?
Mhm.
So the Cowboys
And,
should win this
Zeke's
game.
gonna be there supporting the boys,
If
baby.
he does, that's corny as fuck.
Mm.
That's just even.
He is. He already said he's gonna
That's
be there.
even cornier. You play on
Bro,
another
don't be
team.
surprised if he
You
comes.
play
if
if
to
he's
the
on the
Cowboys
sideline.
to retire.
If he's not in the box and if he's on the sideline, that's corny as fuck, dude. If he's
No,
on,
he'll be in the box. He's not gonna be on the
we'll
sideline.
see. Zeke love him some attention, so we'll see. Or if he's up there and he dances
Jerry
or
wouldn't
waves
allow that.
or pulls some titty, he doesn't work for Jerry anymore, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Not get on the sideline.
Yeah, Jerry be like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that story about the time I tried to keep black kids from coming to my school?
Whoa. Whoa.
But they should win this game. Packers could make it interesting if they play opportunistic and they're able to play the ball control game. They do have some talent. They have a mobile quarterback that could create some problems. So if the Packers are smart, they will be moving Jordan Love around in the pocket, letting him create plays and setting him up for success. If they just ask him to drop back and just throw the ball and be a pocket passer the whole game, he's going to get his head taken off probably. They're gonna have to run the ball. If they can't run the ball, they're fucked. Packers can't run for first downs. They're losing this game, 100%. There's no way. They gotta run. But Greg Jones is back. He was healthy last week, 22 carries, 111 yards, and he was an All-Pro running back the year before. He's barely played all year. We'll see.
Yeah, but I'm not too worried about the run defense as it is. I mean, Lions, their defense stepped it up.
No, absolutely. But I mean, there was some really good tackles in that game on Gibbs, where like Gibbs' foot doesn't get touched, he's gone for a tutty on a couple of those. Like they made some good tackles. You know, you have some good tackling corners, that's for sure. But there were some runs where it was like, ooh, that was real close. And you could see Gibbs. It was one of those where you see Pollard have him all the time, where he's.
But to that point,
barely misses.
I don't think any of the running backs on Green Bay are any level anymore to Gibbs and what's his name, him.
No, man, Greg Jones is really good, and you know you can make a case that Greg Jones, when 100% and healthy, is one of the better running backs in the league. I think he led the league in rushing last year. Did he not, or was it the year before? And he's also a receiver threat, so he's good out of the backfield. He can catch the ball. Greg Jones is an above-average running back. He's Pro Bowl level running back when healthy. He just hasn't really played all fucking year. So it'll be interesting to see him come out, and they're obviously playing him because he's healthy. Because you know if they're one and done, they wouldn't be playing him if he wasn't 100%. They'd just sit him till next year because he recently got a big contract. So it could be an interesting game, but Cowboys should win this game. Cowboys lose this game, I mean, Dak probably still gets paid. McCarthy probably loses his job. Like this, there's a lot. Not probably. It might be. No, because now you're the number 2.
The first Cowboys coach ever to win 12 games in a row, in 3 seasons in a row.
But it still has nothing to show for it. So if he wins it 3 years in a row and has nothing to show for it, that doesn't bode him. That doesn't do him any favors. That's more of an indictment.
How many years did it take Jimmy to win a Super Bowl? 2 at least.
Yeah, but McCarthy's already won a Super Bowl somewhere else. What I'm saying is, if McCarthy can't get over the hump, can't get out of his own way, and his offense underperforms in the playoffs, that is more of an indictment of him, because it's not like he wasn't.
The only
winning
way
games
Jerry
when he was
fires Mike McCarthy if he can get Bill Belichick. I'll just say that. That's probably the only way.
That would be that would be terrible. That would be so bad. I would
What
pray.
about
I'd pray
Not
for that.
when
That
Bill
would be the
Belichick.
collapse.
Not when Bill Belichick. Actually,
That would be the collapse.
I think it would be the best scenario for Bill Belichick, far as no longer having to be a GM and just coach and do football what he loves and knows. And Jerry and the boys
going to
can
retire.
take all care of everything else.
I don't think he takes a job anywhere. I think he quits football.
Well, we'll see.
I think he's like, I'm done.
I think he wants one more Super Bowl without Brady to prove that he can do it.
No, I don't think so.
Last game.
Or he could do Chargers. Herbert.
No, that's right. Honestly, I think Jim Harbaugh is going, not Chargers.
Possible.
Chargers have the best odds to land Jim Harbaugh. Chargers are plus 25. No NFL team is plus 300.
Well, he played in San Diego. for a little bit. It's possible. I mean, you
Yep,
could
and
go
you'd be back to
Chargers.
the warm weather. You know?
They love him out in L.A. I love L.A.
Oh, he's got the personality for it too. That that fan base and that scene. He's a character.
Yeah. Next game, Rams Lions. Ooh, this will be a good
I think
game.
this is the upset alert, the
What?
big one.
Rams beat the Lions.
Yeah.
You will see the
I,
Lions defense a little bit better. You saw Gardner Johnson come back last week, played in his first game and got a pick. I swear that guy just gets picks all the time. It's kind of he's such
best storyline by far of the wild card.
Well, this is what we've talked about. I've been saying this all season. I've been making a case that if Jared Goff gets to a Super Bowl, I said if he wins the division, gets to, and is able to even get to a Super Bowl with the Lions or win a playoff game with the Lions, his history is bigger than Matt Stafford's. Just even though Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl, I'm still more pro Goff. I'd make a case for Goff because he took the Rams
Because
back
Matthew Stafford went for a sweet team and Goff kind of had to make his team what it is.
Goff went into
So
the Rams
now-
as the #1 overall pick and then ended up helping lead that team to a Super Bowl. And then he goes and takes over another team that hasn't been to the playoffs in a long time and hasn't been to a Super Bowl in forever. And if he's able to take that team even close to it, if he just wins a playoff game, he's breaking 2 curse streaks for not winning playoff games and underperforming franchises. And then if he's able to win a Super Bowl with the Lions, I mean, you could that cements him in the echelon of football. He'd get back to a Super Bowl and he'd win where Matt Stafford couldn't. Because Goff already proved that team could get to a Super Bowl with that coaching staff, the weapons they had. There was carryover on some of those. So it was proven that hey, this team could compete, especially with that defense. Like, we need to take away, spend all of our first round picks to go out and go get a superstar team and try to go win a Super Bowl, right? So they made a big push and decision to do that. And while they've rebounded, Stafford took over that and then just got them over the hump of the Super Bowl, but not the hump of becoming a good fucking football team. And that's where, Goff has had to do that. And he's already recreated it in Detroit. So if he's able
I will
it's
say,
going
I
to be
think
rocking there, dude. It's going to be loud as fuck inside that stadium in Detroit. That's going to be deafening. I don't think there's going to be a single Rams fan there. There might be Stafford Lions jerseys, but there's not going to be, I don't know if there's going to be any room. They haven't hosted a home playoff game in Detroit in forever. It's going to be insane in that fucking place. They're going to be all in blue ski masks, all poo-shiestied out. It's going to be, that's a game, a playoff game I would want to go to. If you had to pick a game this week to go to, I'd be Rams-Lions in Detroit.
You think Dan Campbell gets a little more conservative?
No, I think fuck no. I think Dan Campbell goes for the nuts. Now you really
I think that might bite him in the ass.
No, that's when you really play for everything. Now you got to play for.
Well,
everything.
I'm just saying, going for it on too early in the game on a 4th down that was not in the opponent's zone or territory side of the field. I just feel like I could totally see him kind of screwing over with his,
analytics.
It's kind of that make or break it mentality.
The analytics, a lot of those plays where he went for it, it's like, well, the stats and the sabermetrics say you go for it. So it's not like he's going. It's not
not that fake punt.
I mean, I guess fake punt.
Me off.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, like he's going for the nuts. He's trying to potentially get the #2 seed, and if he beats the Cowboys, he's got a leg up on playing every game at home. Why is it? Why?
Yeah, but I'm saying I trust McVay not fighting or allowing it. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So with McVay being that smart, I don't think Dan Campbell can even get away with doing any of that shit.
Nah, I think that you have.
I think it'll bite him in the ass.
No, I think you got 2 guys that both would do anything to win, who are going to do exactly that. Because at the end of the day, if you lose, you go home. If you win, you move on. It doesn't matter how good it looks or how bad it looks. It's all you just got to go in there and win the fucking game. And Dan Campbell has proven that he will do anything to win a game. That's why he has the confidence of his team, is because he'll throw that fake punt.
Yes, I know, but emotions get the best of you sometimes. So reel them in, Dan. That's what I think. That's my advice.
Last one, and then we'll get into bets. It looks like Joe's tired. Are you sleepy, Joe?
A little bit.
Ah, he's out there doing Jason Bourne shit. He needs his Z's. Eagles Bucks. Eagles at the Bucks. Monday night, 7 p.m. Who you got 2.0?
I like the Bucks.
Bucks played.
Depends who plays for the Eagles.
Bucks played like shit last week on offense. By the way.
When
Well,
Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith are all out for the game or questionable or even not fully healthy. Like I like the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't think that AJ Brown plays potentially. I could see
oof.
Devontae Smith playing. I think Jalen Hurts is going to go out there and play. Dislocated finger. He says he's going to play, so I think he should be fine. It's not like he broke it; he just dislocated it. But
I think he should stop wearing that sad clown makeup that starts drooping, and his
dude,
sad face makes it even worse.
All that face paint shit is so goofy. Like Aiden Hutchinson, and like is under his eye cross. It's like
I'm Jalen Hurts.
Are you doing blackface right now? That's racist.
Whoa, dude.
Well, you were doing a Jalen Hurts impersonation.
I'm doing sad, stupid face.
But yeah, I mean the Bucks' offense hasn't looked that great outside of Mike Evans. Running game's been all right. Their defense, they do have a really good defense. They can get after it at linebacker. Secondary's a little bit banged up. This is going to end up being a good game. I think if the Eagles can run the ball, they should be fine. Eagles pass rush. They played earlier this year. Bucks had 2 good drives, and then the D line for the Eagles, and I think that was Jalen Carter. Like got a punch out fumble. Just like not. It was a pretty ugly game. Granted, that was weeks ago, but I don't think that either of these teams are any better than they were the last time they played. Now the Eagles might be a little bit worse especially if they're missing pieces, but I don't think the Bucks are any better than they were the last time they played them. I think Baker's still kind of the same. Some of the Eagles, they say what was it? Chad Johnson said the Eagles are playing possum, just pretending to be this bad to go into the playoffs. I was like, I don't know about that. But I am glad this game's on the road because if the Eagles go out there, let's say even if they're healthy, go out there, 2-3 bad drives, two bad drives, get a field goal, and they're up 3-0. The boos are gonna start, and I think that like fucks with this team. This team's played pretty good on the road and more inconsistently at home. It seems like they're able to tune out the away noise better than they tune out the home noise, which is not necessarily what you want, but that is what it seems like the Eagles are able to do, which is a little back-ass words. But yeah, I think the Eagles definitely have a shot. If they're down both Smith and Brown, that's going to be difficult. But, look for the Eagles to also lean on the run game. Both teams, although I do think they'll take some shots down the field with Baker, but not as mobile as you'd like. And I do think that some of these coordinators are going to be calling out all stops in this game. If they're able, like, let's say Desai is even going to lose it, our defensive coordinator is probably going to lose his job. He wants to put something good on playoff tape. Nothing worse. So I think that some of them are going to try to do their best to audition for like a position job somewhere else. But we'll see. I mean, Bucks got a shot. Eagles are limping into this. That's why I said they shouldn't play anybody, because now you're playing who you were probably going to play anyways, and now you're just missing people. It's like, great. That's real smart.
They have squeaked for so long, and the wheel's about to squeak right off, buddy.
No, I mean, if the wheels are going to squeak off, they already have. But they made the playoffs. Whatever. I mean, we'll see. They think that letting TJ Edwards go to Chicago, our middle linebacker, hurt because he played good this year. He was great for us last year. Linebacker depth killed us. We didn't even draft it. And yeah, I mean, Bradbury's too old to be running around out there now, man. We got 2 good years out of him, and like that's that's pretty much it. Slay hates Patricia. So the guy who's calling our defensive play calls hates the defensive coordinator. Is the most hated person in the world by Darius Slay. We traded for Darius Slay because he didn't want to play for Patricia in Detroit. So whenever we had him start calling defensive plays, That makes no sense. So whenever he's like, "Oh, I have to get this little minor knee surgery. I'm going to be out for 3 weeks." Yeah, because Darius Slay's like, "Fuck this guy. I hate this guy," and now he's calling the plays. So we'll see. The Eagles got to figure out their front office. I think we have all the talent in the world, but I think they got to figure out. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen, for sure. That's why when AJ Brown's talking shit, I don't think it's necessarily about anything other than, like, I think they have issues with the coaches and the way the plays are being called, and I don't think that I think that they're voicing their displeasure. But it could be. I mean, I don't think it's a blowout either way. I don't think either of them are capable of it. But I mean, because they're my team, I'll take the Eagles 28-24. But it's going to be an ugly game. And if they go out there and turn the ball over, both of these teams could turn the ball over like fucking crazy. This game could be 28-0 Bucks or 28-0 Eagles in the second quarter. A fumble, and then it's a pick. Because both of these quarterbacks, when these things start to fall apart right now, they're just forcing the fuck out of it. And that doesn't really play well to them. I'm assuming you're taking the Bucks, Elwood?
Yeah.
Of course you are. Well, let's get into bets. 2.0's bets. Where's my bets at?
Yes, sir. So talked about some of them, and I got some future plays here. Some playoff bets. So official plays only got a couple. I like the Browns -2.5. Talked about it a lot. Joey Crowbar Flacco, he's popping off.
That piece
His
of
offense
shit.
had the advantage of resting last week, which I think will really help. And they already beat the Texans. They already have the confidence of going into Houston and doing that. Yeah, the Houston Texans are getting some key players back that were injured in the last matchup, but I still don't think that'll be enough to beat Cleveland. So I like the Browns -2.5. I like the Rams +3.5 against the Lions. A lot like what we talked about before, but Rams have won 7 of their last 8 games. So they are on fire. Their only loss was in overtime to the Ravens, who are the #1 seed in the AFC in Baltimore. So they can go on the road and have success. They've been hot. They have all the key pieces. Catching them with more than a field goal, I do like that. So I like the Rams +3.5. For the Steelers-Bills game, official play, taking Josh Allen over 8.5 rushing attempts. Little player prop for you guys. So it's just a known fact about Josh Allen. In games that matter, he's going to run the ball. He's more willing, if he's scrambling, he's more willing to tuck the ball, lower his shoulder, go get a couple extra yards. And the fact that the weather is going to be super shitty that day is going to be more opportunity for that. And he's hit this number for the last 5 games, I want to say, which matches as the season winds down. His rushing attempts go up. So over 8.5 rushing attempts for Josh Allen. So those are the 3 official plays. Oh, didn't do a recap. Last week went 2-1. Oh, let me pull up the official plays. Last week, Texans beat the Colts pretty handily, 23-19, but they took care of business there. Lions first half spread worked well, where they won that. They ended up covering the whole game spread as well. The Bears did not cover the +3. So they lost 9-17. So 2-1, decent week last week. But back to more playoff bets. If you want to bet for every game, I like the Chiefs -4. For the Eagles Buccaneers game, I like Rachaad White over 15.5 rushing attempts. He's hit this number in each of the last 16 games, or each of the last 6 games. With Baker Mayfield being hurt, they're going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to milk the clock. They're going to want to kind of establish a good rhythm that they can start playing off of. And I think he hits this number pretty easily. And that should be a bet for all the games. All right, so now 2 futures here for you guys. First off, Browns to win the AFC champion. Browns to win the AFC. I got it at plus 1,400. So you bet $1 to win 14, bet $10, you win 140. So here's their path to doing this, right? So Browns first game, take care of the Texans. So then who do they go play? So they'd be the lowest number seed, assuming Kansas City beats the Dolphins and Buffalo beats the Steelers, which we all kind of agree is going to happen. So next week they go into Baltimore to play, where they have already beaten this Ravens once this season, and that was with Deshaun Watson as quarterback. So the Ravens haven't seen Joe Flacco. These are two teams that are very familiar with each other. Ravens are also notoriously bad coming off of bye weeks. It's true in the regular season. It's true back in 2019 when they had the number 1 seed with Lamar Jackson. They ended up losing by 20-some points to the Titans, and Lamar Jackson had to throw the ball 50-some times. So, all right, I'm not going to say they beat the Ravens, but I do like their chances there. So say Miami beats the Chiefs. So Miami is the one that goes to Baltimore. Cleveland goes to Buffalo. I like Cleveland having they match up against Buffalo. The weather's going to be shitty, but Cleveland's defense travels well. Again, I really like Cleveland in that matchup. So then they are either playing the winner of Baltimore, Miami, or they're playing the winner of Buffalo, Kansas City. And if you just look, I just like those matchups a lot. Not going to go, yeah. I'm rambling at this point. Anyway,
No, well, I mean, I think the moral of the story is like their defense is really fucking good and it travels well. And if you're telling me any offense, including Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, or basically any offense left in the league versus the Browns defense, I like the Browns defense. Just in like they're gonna get 3 or 4 sacks like they have a tons of talent all over the place, right? They have $100 million corner who's worth every penny and never says a fucking word. That's how good he doesn't even fucking talk. You never hear Denzel Ward out there running his fucking mouth, right? When do you ever? He's fantastic. And then you have Myles Garrett, who's a monster. So it's like I like that. If you're telling me that it's like, okay, anyone versus if the Browns offense can protect the ball and put points on the board with that defense, that's what we saw Joe Flacco win Super Bowls with before. So this is like an archetype of a team that he's taken and won a Super Bowl with. Is this exact setup that he has now? Except this is probably more talented, even minus the talent that they had before. Because he's been like, the running back's not as good, but the receivers are just as good, if not better, than what he had in Baltimore when he was out there slinging it.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Jones. Oh, and Jacoby Jones was a badass. But I mean, come on, you got Amari Cooper out there, and Njoku's a good tight end. It's possible, man. They're a dark horse to win the Super Bowl. They've kind of taken that role that a lot of people thought the Jaguars would have. Good defense, lots of talents, because the Jags defense finished great last year. So it's like good defense, lots of talent. Quarterback can protect the ball. So they've kind of turned into what we thought the Jags would be. That's the first game. Yeah, if they win that game, sky's the limit.
At plus 1,400, I like the sprinkle. Like half a unit, something like that. Throw it on there.
The sprinkle? You heard him. You heard it here first.
A little sprinkle.
That's what he said. That's what he said, dude.
Dude, you like my nails, bro?
2.0. 2.0's got his first catchphrase.
A little sprinkle.
Yeah, for the little sprinkle. That's pretty good. Well, what do you got?
I got some other plays.
Okay. Let's go.
Later on. So, dark horse to win the NFC, Rams at plus 2,000. Hear me out here. Like I said, they've won 7 of their last 8 games. Their only loss being in overtime to the Ravens in Baltimore.
On a punt
So they're hot. We know Sean McVay has been to the Super Bowl. This team has done it before. They have the good veteran leadership to get there with Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald. So here's their path, all right? So say they beat Detroit. Green Bay is not going to beat Dallas. So the Rams are going to be the lowest seed. So they're going to go and play San Francisco. Division rivalry. Both teams are very familiar. I say that's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. But again, it's just a sprinkle. So let's say they beat the 49ers. Then Dallas is playing the winner of Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. I like Dallas to win to win the game against both of those opponents. We got a Rams Cowboys NFC Championship game. Now they have played before. That was also week 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. The Cowboys beat the Rams in Dallas 43-20. That was also the
Stafford hurt his thumb and was out like after like the second or third drive.
Mm-hmm.
They were missing. I think Cooper Kupp. I think that was his first game back. That might have been week 10. But I know that was like one of his first games back. But I mean, this Rams team is not the same Rams team.
No. 2 weeks later is when they started their run. So the Cowboys are going to play a completely different Rams team than what they faced already. And we know the Cowboys love to choke in the playoffs. So Rams against the Cowboys, I think I like the Rams' chances there. That's at plus 2,000. If you really want to like dive down deep here and go like full degenerate level, on FanDuel you can bet the Rams to beat the Browns in the Super Bowl at plus 100,000. So meaning you bet $1, you will win $1,000. On the flip side, you can bet the Browns to beat the Rams at plus 75,000. So if you bet $1, you win 100. You win 750. So you can either bet Rams Browns Super Bowl at plus like 3,000, I think. No, plus 30,000. So $1 will win you 300. Or you can bet both of those exactas for the Super Bowl. Worst case, you're up. Assuming both teams actually get there, you win $750 off a $1 bet. That's worth a little sprinkle. Come on.
Rams Browns Super Bowl. That would be awesome.
I would be.
I wouldn't be mad if the Browns won the Super Bowl. If Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with the Browns.
Would they get rid of Deshaun Watson afterwards?
I think you keep Flacco regardless. You bring him back next year if he wants to come back, and you let him compete for the starting job, and you can just cut. I think you're going to have to figure. You don't want to pay him all that money. You just take if the Browns win a Super Bowl, they'll cut him and take all the dead cap space. They won't care. They wouldn't care. Fuck it. Bye. We won the Super Bowl. The Browns won the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. You're fired. Well, you're gonna owe me $180 million. Cool. Like whatever. We won a Super Bowl. We bought ourselves another like 75 years. We're good. Right? I mean, same with the Lions. Any of these franchises. It's like when the Kansas City Royals won the World Series, and now they suck again. And people are like, "Oh, the Royals suck again." They're like, "Yeah, but we totally won. We totally won one, didn't we?" You'd be like, "Yeah, you did. That's fucking wild. That's pretty crazy." So Kansas City's like, "Oh, what? We got one," which is really sad, but that's
more than the Rockies.
Oh my God! If the Rockies won the World Series, Denver would burn to the ground, and then everybody the next morning would do like ayahuasca and mushrooms, and they'd just rebuild it and make it better, and they'd be happy about it. Because the Rockies won, and they were this close. Well, they were a sweep away. They got swept, but they were a sweep away. They swept their way to the World Series, and then lost in the World Series. Well, you got anything else for us, Elwood? You look grumpy.
Oh, I'm just tired. I'm just hit a wall.
Stars lose?
No, they won 7-1.
Oh, Jesus.
They crushed it.
Jesus, dude. Stars are on a tear.
Well, so we face teams that I really want us to beat, and then we lose in overtime every time. Yeah, damn it.
Well, anything insightful words for the weekend going into Cowboys playoff weekend? Home game, Packers against the Love Machine.
Ready to eat some cheese. You know what I mean?
What do you got for us, 2.0?
Go Browns, go Rams.
Let's ride. All right, well, I appreciate y'all being here like always. I shall do the same.
Watch Bitcon on Netflix. It's a pretty interesting watch.
What? Bitcoin?
About the Bitcon. It's about these two dudes that pretty much scammed a bunch of people with Bitcoin.
Oh, okay, let's check it out.
But they made like $30 fucking million.
And they're not in jail or
Great.
anything?
Two of them are. One is completely not, and he's the worst out of all of them.
Is he in hiding?
He's literally the most shadiest, criminal-minded out of the whole bunch, and since he pretty much turned and ratted with the government, he got off scot-free. It's so fucked up.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
All right, well, y'all be good. Appreciate y'all being here. We'll see you next week. Peace
All
out.
right. Bye.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to be honest. The Eagles have been playing like shit, so I wouldn't be surprised if they lost. Episode 41, week 0, because the seasons have reset, is over. Ugh. I'm pissed. We got the Bucks, whatever. Go Eagles. Fuck it. Fuck it.